Hey y'all, welcome back to a new video. Today we have Blake Martin. He's a good friend of mine. We're going to be talking about the creative industry as a whole, everything to do with how we got started in this industry, who he is, what we do. I'm really excited for this. It's not like a podcast episode, but this is basically an unfiltered conversation about the video industry as a whole, what we've learned, things like that. I've got talking points for us. We're just going to be going off the dome and
we're just going to be rambling.
Exactly. Just rambling for like 20 minutes and hoping that somebody gets something valuable from it about how to do what we do basically in this, not just in the industry, but also as a Christian, as a business owner in the church industry, because we both do a little bit of the same thing, but different sides of it as well. So let's go ahead and dive into the conversation. Tell me a little bit about who you are. Tell us again your name. How did we meet? Why are we qualified to talk about this? Go for it.
So my name is Blake Martin. I have grown up. I've grown up loving videography and making home videos since I was a child. So I've had a love for video and just the creative industry ever since I was little, even though I was doing stuff, for fun and to play around. But like, I genuinely had a love for making content. I grew up and I got into videography when I was 16. I started doing wedding videos, and then I decided to go to college for that, and I went to Georgia College and State University for mass communication. And when I graduated, I did a summer internship, and I guess that's where our paths kind of align. We met at Elevation Church. So that is kind of a quick rundown of how I've gotten to
brief synopsis
right here.
Yes. My side of that would be pretty similar. I wanted to do content creation of all different kinds, really starting for me like in 5th grade. Started at one of my birthday parties. We made home videos in my backyard that were totally awful. I feel like everybody's got some similarities to filming old stuff, but
for sure.
We did YouTube videos. I mean, I did National History Day. Some people know what that is. Some people don't. I basically got to make... I
don't know what that is. What is that?
It's this big... it's kind of like the science fair, but for social studies. And so you can do different types of projects from speeches, research papers, all that kind of stuff. And the video was one of the options. So the first time I really got to work on a official project and had the opportunity to do that for school was in 8th grade. So I did stuff like that. And then in high school is when I got into photography, and then slowly into video the second half of high school. And then going into college, that's when I majored in multimedia film production with a minor in graphic design. So I graduated from there. But right before graduating, I think my junior year is when I went to intern at Elevation Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. And that is where we both met. So Blake and I were roommates and had everybody in the house pretty much had something in common. So we're going to talk about some of that too. What is it like being an intern at Elevation Church? In the industry as a whole. So when we finally met, what was your experience interning at Elevation? How's it laid out? We don't have to say anyone by name, but like, how does their system work, and what was your experience with it? I mean, I know we've talked about this before, but just tell me about it.
I absolutely loved working at Elevation Church. I got there, my specific job or pathway was helping with video creation for YouTube and their editing. So I made overlays for scripture references when they were finalizing the Sunday sermons in post-production. So I helped a bunch with that, and then I was able to go during their serve week, love week, and take photos for many of the serve opportunities that they had in Washington, D.C. So that was a really exciting trip, probably the highlight of the internship. It was really fun. It was really fun. I did that, and then I actually got to help their interior designer with a few projects right before we left. So I just got to dabble in all of my hobbies and interests alongside like video editing and other stuff like that.
What was the backlogging project you kind of worked on throughout the whole summer? Was that the sermon overlays?
Yeah, it was a scripture rebrand for like the scripture graphics that would pop up during every sermon that they posted on YouTube.
So you had
they
to go
would
through everything
Mhm.
and redo their whole log of stuff.
They rebranded it every 2 to 3 years. Yes.
That's insane. So my side, I worked with their online broadcast department. So my supervisor worked with producing the whole online broadcast. So we both did a little bit of that. And so like Sundays, I would run graphics backstage. And then Wednesdays, we would do our run throughs for Sunday morning stuff. And then we also had the talk show that would happen on Wednesday mornings, their Coffee Fam set. And towards the end of the internship, I got to redesign that whole set, like the furniture, the layout of all that for one of their first live ones, which was cool. And then a couple fun projects like throughout we would set up as an intern class, we would set up their teachings that they did. We had intern teachings that happened like multiple times a week where different pastors and maybe it was mostly people on staff.
Yeah,
I don't
church
think
staff.
we had
Yeah.
guest speakers come in, but we would set up the chairs for stuff like that, different events. They did one for, we didn't do one for Cinco de Mayo, did we? What was the Juneteenth? We did one, and then there was a staff celebration that we did towards the end of the summer.
Yes, that is right.
Yeah, so we would set up some of those events, but more the entertaining, cool things as a videographer were getting to talk one-on-one with different people. So I was starting doing graphic design, so I could basically meet with most anyone on staff and just say like, hey, let me pick your brain about how y'all do this, what's your layout, and I got to help edit some of our interns' video content. And then my biggest one was when we went to do a pop-up event in New York. I went and took photos for the baptism and then helped hold the camera, kind of do
cool.
the portable cam for that week. So you got to go to DC, I got to go to New York. I think overall that encompasses everything. We would do basically a lot of run-throughs during the week. And so there was a whole lot for both of us. There was a lot of setting cameras up, wrapping cables, running them across campus, learning where to plug them in and why you do that. And sometimes it was frustrating and sometimes it wasn't if you had to rewrap an entire 300-foot cable.
Right.
Because things got tangled like one time. And
because you didn't do it right the first time. One thing it taught me was do things with excellence and do things with the long term, with like a long term mindset. Because we did that, I now take care of my personal camera gear that I did not do whatsoever before I went to Elevation Church. Doing like you said, wrapping that cable was definitely like, why in the world am I doing this right now when, but they probably have 4 of these.
It builds character.
It builds character. But that was another, crazy but minor, but also important takeaway that I got that I took with me.
One of the things I didn't like at the time, kind of like now, was it didn't matter what it was, you had to be 15 minutes early before anything started.
Oh my gosh.
And if you were 1 minute late, you had to do a rep or you had to do a wall sit against the wall or push-ups in front of everybody or something.
Yeah, it was more of a funny punishment, but something that encouraged us to be on time. And, us coming straight out of college, we're young, we're fun. We like to do games and kind of fun little consequences of stuff like that. Yeah. But all in all, it really did teach us the importance of being punctual and showing up to meetings on time and showing the people that you are seeing how important it is that you're there at the time that you would say you'd be there. It was just so many other things that I can't even remember.
The details, focusing on the little things, that was, I think, what we take away long term. And so now it's been just over a year. We're going back
Mm-hmm.
this weekend just to go visit some friends. But that was another thing is, I mean, real friendships were made through that
Yeah.
3 month time period with like people we still talk to. They'll say happy birthday like all throughout the year. It's really, it's been a cool experience. Having done that, learned from it, getting to put that on a resume. And then now we have both graduated college. I think,
Mm-hmm.
you hadn't graduated yet, had you?
Yes, that was the final class that I had needed to graduate,
Yeah.
was the elevation internship.
Yeah, so since doing that internship, we've now both graduated college,
Mm-hmm.
and you're doing some of the freelance stuff. You're also working for some church video stuff,
Yep.
and I'm hoping you can clarify that a little bit more. I'm doing pretty much same thing. I'm doing full-time video and graphic design work for a church near Atlanta, kind of where Casting Crowns is from, if you know that
So
band,
true.
which is where we're recording this right now. But what exactly do you do now?
I pretty much do lots of freelance projects, but mainly weddings, a few corporate like brand stories, and more in-house commercials and in-house videos. And I also help out multiple different churches with social media content creation and short form content, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm doing some of that similar stuff.
Mhm.
I'm doing less freelance, more of the church
Yeah.
work. You seem to be doing
More freelance, less of the church work.
right.
Yeah.
Social media is a whole different ball game, like every single year, and we can talk more about that another
Yeah.
time. But tell me a little bit about what are some of the key things, not necessarily with the internship. That's kind of where we got connected. That's like our story, kind of going into this. But tell me, in the industry, what are some either key things that you've learned lately that have been beneficial? What would be any questions that you would ask me?
Yeah.
What are maybe some things that you've learned
Mhm.
lately? Do you have any?
Curious to hear your take on this. But one thing that I've just been learning from keeping up with other people who are further along down the line of the freelance and business owner journey. But one thing I've learned is in the creative industry specifically, you have to constantly learn new things and keep up with how quickly the industry's going.
Mm-hmm.
Social media is changing. AI, like what? It just came in the past 12 months and has kind of swept the creative industry up, and just now we're just being drugged like by a train or something. You know what I mean? Like we're
Yeah.
going 100 miles an hour
Like your
in a direction that
workflow.
I would have never guessed would have happened so quickly too. So as far as like competition and staying up to date with other competitors and other videographers or content creators, it's a struggle if you're not open to change
Consistently
and
keeping up with it. Yeah.
always buying new gear, or always, watching videos on how to, just all types of creative,
Yeah.
like things.
Just keeping up with it all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was
It's
watching
insane.
the Apple event yesterday, just
Oh my
learning
gosh.
about the new iPhone, all that stuff, just to stay up to date with everything. But like if you look at your workflow now from a year ago, year and a half ago, obviously you should learn along the way.
Yeah.
But since the AI has come in, it's a whole different ballgame with Lightroom, with Illustrator, with Premiere's got it now, all of the
I
online.
just saw that Premiere, like you can edit a full, like multicam production, and it will automatically
It's crazy.
jump to whatever camera angle the person is talking
Maybe
to.
I should test it out on this.
No, yeah, we should.
I'll
you
let
should
you, I'll
see
let
how
you
it
know
works.
if it works. But
No, yeah.
there's websites that do it now. I've installed the Chat GPT app, and instead of trying to hunt down Google or YouTube videos of how do I do this, literally today I was working on a design in Illustrator. I was like, how do I do this in this software? I know I can do it in this one. Can I do the same thing in this? And I just basically went boop, hit a little keyboard shortcut, and then Chat GPT pulled up. I typed in my question, and it gave me step by step. Hey, here's how you do it, and I was on my merry way in 10 seconds.
That
Instead
is
of
insane.
spending 5 to 10 minutes going down a rabbit hole trying to figure out how to do it on YouTube.
I'm 22 now, but when I was 16, I can guarantee you I was not guessing and predicting that I would be using AI
Nope.
now. And I don't know, it's just taking the creative industry by storm. That's all I can say.
I think in a good way for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
The Lightroom stuff, dude, oh my gosh, I can automatically select the subject. I can select which subject, the clothing, the teeth, the skin. I've made presets now that automatically softens the skin on everybody. I can adjust the intensity of it
I'm
in
going to need
one
that.
click.
Can you send me that? Can
I
you send me that
sure
preset?
can.
Okay, cool.
But the fact that I can do that now, where
Yeah.
I vividly remember 2 years ago, I was trying to brush over around the eyebrows, all this stuff, and then individually trying to adjust the clarity. And now I can do it with literally the click of a button, one slider, and I'm done. So AI has been cool in regards to learning new things. Like 20 minutes ago, when we were trying to record this, I was learning about 32-bit float audio and multi-track recording, where I was used to my old recorders would have two separate ones,
Mm-hmm.
one higher gain, one lower gain, whereas now it's all one. And I was just confusing the tracks because I wasn't up to date on new technology that's
Yeah.
always coming out. And I felt like an idiot, but here we are, and it's working. So
So you had mentioned you use AI and like Lightroom and all that. What's like a normal work day for you as far as what software you use and like what does that look like since you're working here at the church?
I would say the video portion of it, it hasn't really changed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get better at learning my keyboard shortcuts. I was testing some of that out today on design work, so that stuff I'm going to be doing frequently, I can do faster. So I'm not wasting time, even if it's just like a 1 second. Every single movement, like you speed that up 20,000 times
Yeah.
if you're editing for 2 hours, and you're saving yourself a lot more time than you think. The AI stuff in Lightroom has gotten a lot better with brush strokes and all that stuff. So if I was to go down a brushstroke here and something tapers in its size, it will automatically adjust to it. If you just like brush over it, it'll kind of detect
That's
the
crazy.
object that's there. That's like an example, but on the day-to-day, I don't use it often. I would say one of the tools I tried out recently is ManyChat. It's a Facebook plugin
Mm-hmm.
where instead of saying, oh, click the link in bio, and then they have to go do the work when you're trying to do a call to action, and then nobody's doing it because everybody's saying it now. Instead of saying like, oh, check the link in my bio, you can say comment this word and I'll go ahead and send it to you. And so it will automatically detect the word that's in the message, and it'll just send an automated message that you've typed in, and it'll send the link to the person so that all they have to do is click on something that they're already on, instead of having to go find your bio, click all this stuff.
I did not know that was AI.
I
I
don't even know
tried
if it's-
doing that 2 weeks ago and I did it manually.
Did you?
Yes.
I don't know if it's AI as much as it is just automated DMs, but I tried it out and I loved it, and it could be really beneficial for churches. I know that some people are starting to use
Yeah.
it. So that's one example. Trying to learn how to automate emails and newsletters, things like that. On the day-to-day, I don't notice too much that's just changed. I just remembered something I had to do, and I was losing my train of thought. But I don't do too much of the AI stuff on the day-to-day. I don't really know.
Yeah.
What would you say is a new tool you've utilized lately?
A
Or do
new
you have one?
tool. Do I have one? I have been using Notion thanks to you. So a round of applause to you. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks.
Just because I've been getting lots of creative jobs and projects coming in, but I haven't been organized. So I've been stressing myself out, with a chaotic schedule, and Notion has really helped with that. So thank you so much. And
glad I
it
can
works
help.
well, and it connects and links to my Google Calendar.
Yep.
It just saves me so much struggle and headache of remembering what I had to do today, when I can get it synced from my phone to my laptop to all other devices. So
Yeah, Notion is a lifesaver. I've loved it for not data management as much as project management, but it's been real beneficial.
yeah, I haven't even stepped into like organizing projects and stuff in there. I've only used Notion Calendar. So
Try linking it to your Notion, to the Google Calendar, and then using Notion as a project manager. You can link everything through it. It's really cool.
that is insane.
Tell me a couple other things. What would be like a closing thought? What is one thing you would tell like your 18-year-old self? If you could go back, kind of start in this industry again, what would you say?
To my 18-year-old self, who, by the way, was interested in architecture for a period of time until I did my first few wedding videos. I would tell my 18-year-old self to take the time, take more time to hone in on that, on your skills of knowing about lighting, learning about a bunch of the pre-production stuff that that kind of, it didn't hinder me in a way, but like it kind of slowed down the process of my business growth, honestly, just based off the quality of footage that I was giving to people. I would honestly say take the time to like watch the YouTube videos that everyone is putting out, like watch the 25-minute conversations that Sam Hudgens is putting out, talking about all the important stuff that like that helps you become a better content creator, but also a videographer. I think early on, thanks to my amazing parents, I have the relational connections down and like building relationships through my business down. But that was probably one thing I think I could have worked on more, and I'm still working on today. But like you said, I mean, of course you can't just learn everything up front and then not have to learn anymore. But I did spend a lot of time doing projects and not working on myself to making sure that I'm still learning new things and I'm still keeping up with the competition.
Yeah. I think I tried to do that, but what I wish I'd done differently would be, and what I would tell my 18-year-old self would be focus more on the business aspect of it, because if I had focused on, I think that in After Effects, I would have probably been way further along than I am now. And if I had focused on the business aspect, which I did some, but if I had really learned about networking and some of those conversational people skills, if I had focused on that side of it and not just the technical side, I think business-wise I'd be way further along. Because like we've discussed earlier, you're doing more business stuff, I'm doing less business stuff. We're kind of doing the flip-flop of each other, and it seems like we focus a little bit more on each of those things. I wish I had kind of done, I guess, the same, but yeah.
I also didn't realize until just recently how important color grading is. Shocker, I know, right? But I will go back and look at old projects from 2021 and 2022, and of course, like with any project that you look at from 2 years ago, you're going to see some things that like you wish you would not have done, or you wish you would have thought about it before you actually, chose that preset or whatever. But like, no one had really said, hey, this is an important skill that you should learn, that you should look into, like LUTs and all of that sort of thing that I just did not know anything about until recently.
I did more color grading in college, but I wish that I had learned Premiere in high school, because I was still using iMovie until senior year, because I didn't want to pay consistently for it. But then when it was something I was doing with my business and my major all the time, so my color grading process started way later. I've gotten kind of used to a new system now, but I would probably second that. I think that's a good place to wrap it up. But thank you so much for coming here and having the conversation.
Yeah.
Shout out, what are the socials? Where can they find us?
Personal social.
Everything will be linked down below.
No, yeah, just go find it. Just go find it.
Just
It's
go
right
find
there.
it.
It's right
down,
there.
It's in the description if you're watching on YouTube. Sam Hudgens Media. 3 Project, Blake Martin. I'll probably put the websites and everything down there too. But thank you so much for tuning in. If you made it this far, I hope you did. I hope that you found something valuable, that you enjoyed the conversation. Thanks for watching. I think that was fun.
Yeah, that's my bad. I don't even know what I said. I blacked out the entire time. I'm so sorry. Was that even something valuable? Like, did I say some okay things?